gang, you will never see them get out of that gang. I can guarantee you that. Like I said, that's another hour-and-a-half speech. Did that make any sense that fast? I mean, I'm giving you 100 speeches you don't even know about with no details. We usually do about 2 days to do this any justice on what I'm sharing with you. It's about a 2-day training, so you're getting a reader's version here. So you can see these are their uphill challenges. They go up, they have a rush, and then I'll say to them, now these are their own words, I'll say, what is the definition of reality? And they'll say, what's going down? It's what's happening. So I'll say, okay, what's the reality of skipping school? The consequence is I have to go to in-school suspension. What's the reality of using drugs? You know, I got locked up. What's the reality of gangbanging? I saw 2 of my friends die. My mom doesn't sleep at night now. I mean, I had a kid the other day I was talking to in Compton. I said, what's been the biggest problem of you joining a gang? His mother does not sleep at night. Do you think he shares that with very many people? But one-on-one, he was willing to share with me, that's for him the hardest thing about being in that gang, is the impact it's having on his mom. So I'll say, what's the reality of sexually acting out? I have STDs, I'm pregnant, I have to drop out of school. A million different answers. If I'm doing this with a 3rd grader, this is used, by the way, K through death row. There are kindergartners going through these pictures right here, and there are death row inmates going through this picture right here. And the reason why we're able to teach it from the playpen to the state pen is because if they learn visually, we teach them visually. If they learn auditorily, we teach them auditorily. Does that make sense? We just took everything in mental health and adapted it to how they learn. So if I'm doing this with a 3rd grader, what got me into trouble, I didn't share my scissors. The consequence is I wasn't able to participate in the activity. If I'm doing this with a death row inmate, what got me into trouble? I killed 8 people. What's the consequence? I'm on death row. So it doesn't matter if you're in 1st grade, 2nd grade, if you're the governor of New York. No, I'm just kidding. But does that make sense? You're somewhere on this roller coaster ride. If you're on this earth sucking in air, you are somewhere on this roller coaster ride. Everybody with me? So you can be a straight A student, you can come down and crash. You can be the governor of New York, you can come down and crash. Or you can be a gangbanger and come down and crash. This is the human condition right here I'm sharing. It applies to every human being walking the earth. So I'll say, these are your uphill challenges. This is what's getting you in trouble. These are the consequences. But there's a huge flaw with this picture right here because they've been taught this how many times have they already been taught this stupid picture right here? Has anybody in this room not taught them this principle right here? The behavior A plus behavior B equals consequence C? Raise your hand if you've never had that conversation with a child. I mean, no hands are going up. Everybody here has had that conversation. And I'm the 5,000th person in that child's life having that conversation with them, trying to get this kid out of the gang. They don't give a damn. So to get their attention, I had to do something a little radical. I would pull out of my pocket a crisp $100 bill out of my pocket. This is a $5 bill. I'm a social worker. It's hard for me to access money. Don't let that bother you. And I'd pull out a crisp $100 bill and I'd say to the kids, I'll give you this $100